Keir Starmer and the Labour Party are preparing for a new set of anti-free speech laws if Labour get into government, and there is absolutely no mention of any of this in the corporate media in order to scrutinise the dear leader, dear Keir Starmer. Alright, so this is actually quite concerning because it has been reported by some papers and some think tanks are reacting to this, but because it's such like a given, the media aren't even thinking about asking questions or even reporting on the story. This is about the existing hate speech laws, which are basically anti-free speech laws in this country. It's been going on for years. But apparently they're not good enough for Keir Starmer, so they want to improve these existing regulations. So when if he becomes Prime Minister, he's planning to introduce a new thing to make sure that you can't really say what you want to say. Because words hurt, and hurty feelings are very important to be protected instead of actually going after real criminals and creating a stable and safe country. No. Hurty feelings, that's very important. All right, so the pinky Keir Starmer said it is time for tougher hate crime laws. So every LGBTXY plus 123 crime is treated as an aggravated offence. So there is an issue. So I've also spoken out against some of the recent attacks in London, especially in so-called progressive areas like in Soho and Vauxhall. These areas that have a lot of gay nightclubs, there have been a lot of attacks. And I've spoken out against it because this is just not really safe. The city is not safe, regardless of what sort of crime it is anyway. But there are a lot of people who were attacked because they were outside the gay clubs. Having said that, if you're going to create more extreme hate speech laws, because that's going to also include hurty words, not really. It's not really about physically attacking, because we already have laws against that. You can't do that in a normal country. But in London, you still get away with it. That also means that you or your bureaucrats and civil servants are going to be the judge, the referee, to assess where the line is. So what sort of criticism is going to be a very, very offensive attack? So does that mean that all the videos I make, or a comedian makes a joke about one of the communities, that's going to be an aggravated attack, right? So I'm going to go to jail soon if these guys get into government. The reason I know how aggressive this is because this policy coming out of Keir Starmer's office is actually supported, by Mermaid and Stonewall. Oh, yeah, they're back. Stonewall and Mermaids, two very extreme groups, are now advocating for gender-critical views to be criminalized under new hate speech laws. Literally, it says gender-critical views, opinions. Let's not talk about the fact that the biological science is factual anyway. Let's just say we have a set of opinions. Let's just, for the sake of the argument, say Mahyar has a view, rightly or wrongly. But because under these new laws, it's going to be the wrong type of view, I'm going to be criminalized. So you can't even have opinions. I mean, even now, we have existing hate speech laws that doesn't really give you free speech, but they're going to make it even worse. They're going to make you miss Priti Patel and Theresa May as Home Secretaries, and even the other idiot, Sajid Javid. They're going to make you miss them when things get so bad under the new regime with David Lammy as I think it's going to be Foreign Secretary. I think Emily Thornberry will be Home. I don't know who's going to be what, but they keep changing their minds in the shadow cabinet. So I think we're going to have David Lammy. Even though he wants to have the Foreign Affairs portfolio, they might actually make him the Home Office Home Secretary, because the existing one, a little bit boring. Anyway, the IEA think tank responded to this wave of attacks. Actually, recently they published this new literature, Transgender Ideology, a new threat to liberal values. And this is the whole point, because people like me, we were the old English liberals, classical liberal, actual liberalism. Back in the day, liberalism came from liberation. It was about freedom. The modern liberals, they're not liberals. The progressives, they are regressive, and the liberals are illiberal. So IEA is right that what they are doing, the liberal left, are actually destroying true and classical liberal values. which gave them the freedom in the first place to do that and to live in a country that they could do that, which is kind of fascinating as an irony. There are a few bullet points about this. Feel free to pause this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but they do say that the trans, well, in terms of the rights, the ideology and the rights of these people to dress or and present themselves as they wish must be obviously distinguished. One can challenge the former while affirming the latter. But there's a few other points about this, because say many supporters of the ideology and the gender lobby do not aim to win the debate, but rather to prevent the debate from occurring. That's very good. It's a very good point. Mermaids and Stonewall have claimed that, of course, that these views, such as denying the ability for people to change their gender, it should be hate speech. It should be a hate crime. It should be prosecuted. And they said that there are concerning indications that the future Labour government would introduce new hate speech legislation with serious implication for freedom of speech. So we have to take this seriously before it gets too far. Now we got Mark Glendening from the Institute for Economic Affairs, who did the report claiming that the freedom for individuals to express an opinion is under serious threat. He said, just as people have a right to affirm whatever sex or gender identity they want to have, in a truly liberal society, others must enjoy the equal right to articulate their positions on the same issue. A philosophical line in the sand needs to be drawn in this regard if the drift towards authoritarianism is to be halted. Because it's not about liberalism. Initially they came and said, hey, support this ideology and don't attack it because we just want you to be open-minded and tolerant and nice. That was the initial line. Now they're saying you have to accept it or we will destroy your life. You can't even have a debate. I said this years ago. I said that's where they're going to go next. Nobody listened to me. And when was it? About 7-8 years ago when I ran a campaign on this. And said, this is not looking good. They're now saying this is just about resisting fascism, the far right. Ooh, scary. They just wanted to stop them from attacking them. They wanted the fascists to become more liberal-minded. And now they are the fascists, as predicted. Even Christopher Hitchens predicted that this is where the liberal left were going. This was 15 years ago. Anyway, we'll keep you guys posted on this. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.